A large crowd followed and pressed around Jesus, and a woman was there who had been subject to bleeding for 12 years. She had suffered a great deal under the care of many doctors and had spent all she had. Yet instead of getting better, she grew worse. When she heard about Jesus, she came up behind him in the crowd and touched his cloak. Because she thought, if I just touch his clothes, I will be healed. Immediately her bleeding stopped, and she felt in her body that she was freed from her suffering. At once, Jesus realized that power had gone out from him, and he turned around in the crowd and asked, "Who touched my clothes?" "You see the people crowding against you," his disciples answered, "and yet you can ask, 'Who touched me?'" But Jesus kept looking around to see who had done it. Then the woman, knowing what had happened to her, came and fell at his feet, and trembling with fear, told him the whole truth. He said to her, "Daughter, your faith has healed you. Go in peace and be freed from your suffering." I've wondered often about the fear that this woman experienced, because it's not insignificant fear. She's trembling. I wonder if she's afraid because she feels somehow that perhaps she stole her healing from Jesus. She had touched the hem of his garment, she'd come at him from behind, and she was sure that in the bustling crowd no one would notice. But now clearly Jesus does know. And he's asked the question, "Who touched me?" Is his question angry? Is it a reprimand? Is it loving? Is it searching? Is it caring? She doesn't know. She's uncertain. She's insecure. And so she trembles. Or could it be that she trembles because her illness has isolated her for 12 years? According to Jewish purity laws, her illness would have excluded her from community, from gathering. And so just being in the crowd was really against the rules. She hoped to be just in and out without being noticed. But now the rabbi has silenced the crowd. The chaos of gathering around him has stopped. Will she be found out? Will she be punished? She trembles. Could it be that she trembles because her spirit is broken? She's been under the care of many doctors, not one, not a handful, many. She's been prodded, she's been examined. She's had to tell what I'm sure would have been, in those days, a shameful story over and over and over again to so many different, indifferent men. It would have cost her money. In fact, it cost her all her money and her dignity. And to make it worse, instead of getting better, her condition had deteriorated. She's now desperate. Maybe she trembles all the time now, because perhaps she's just a fraction of herself. Just a sliver of human spark is left in her. Just enough to reach out to a cloak and nothing more. And so she trembles. But then she feels his gaze. She can't miss this opportunity. She has nothing left to lose. So she comes to him trembling with fear. And maybe this is what the trembling is really about. Maybe she's trembling because she intends to tell him the whole truth. She comes to Jesus. She falls at his feet. He doesn't call her out. He doesn't embarrass her. He doesn't name her in the crowd. He doesn't point her out. This is her choice. She comes to Jesus. She falls at his feet. And all she wants to do in this moment, she doesn't even say thank you. Not that she isn't grateful, but she doesn't say thank you. She wants to tell him the whole truth. all the pain, all the longing, all the isolation, all the loneliness, all the disappointments, all the anger, all the brokenness, all the despair, all the resentment, all the desperation, the whole truth. She can feel the change in her body already. But healing is about more than just our bodies. She needs to tell the truth. Perhaps she longed to tell him the truth. And the exquisite beauty of this story is that Jesus looks for her. He will not leave her with just a body made well. She needs to tell the truth. And she needs the blessing of Jesus. She needs the peace be with you from Jesus. Sometimes, often, the wounds of the Spirit are far, far greater than the wounds of the body.